along his path of sowing the seed, he faced different types of ground. He faced potential distractions. What am I talking about? First of all, the first area that this parable talks about, he planted his seed on the path along the way. And it really didn't set, it didn't really get in the soil. It potentially is a hardened path. And along the journey, along the way, the seed never took. And guess who took the seed though? The birds. So the sower's job, he's planting the seeds, planting the seeds, planting the seeds. Oops, they're wrong ground, wrong ground. Anyway, he kept sowing. And the birds ate it up. Now here's what the sower didn't do. He didn't stop and say, hey, give me back my seed. Hey, give me back my seed. He wasn't chasing the birds. He wasn't chasing the distractions. Let me translate that to some form of practicality. Sometimes you get involved in a business and along the way, you stumble across the wrong website. You stumble across the wrong negative person. You stumble across somebody who's been there, done it, gives you all the advice, but never been there, done that. But along the path, the birds ate you up. You make a commitment. You say, I'm going to be there. I'm going to make a phone call. I'm going to show up for an appointment. And guess what? You run across the birds and you don't get there. Or you hire somebody, you recruit somebody, you train somebody, you get a customer, and along the way, they change their mind. They ask for the money back. But guess what your job is to do? Keep sowing your seeds. That is going to happen. The biggest part about many people is they try to change things. Remember in the beginning I said this conversation, I am not God and I'm not here to change things. That job is already taken. Your job as a human being, I hope that you take this with grace, is not to change anybody. The only person that you got to worry about changing and improving is you. And you hope that other people are influenced by your change and your seeds and your fruits of your labor that's inspiring other people. The second part, the second ground that faced along the way is the rocky ground. Here's the rocky ground. It went through and it started coming up and it was scorched by the soil. Why? Because it didn't have any deep roots. So when people aren't clear about what they want out of life, sure, I'm excited. The emotion got me. I'm so fired up to do this. I'm making an emotional commitment. Yes, I'm going to change my life. Yes, I got this, I got that. I'm going to do this with my New Year's resolution. Finally, for one time in my life, I got a break. But the roots didn't go deep. The belief, the understanding that you have to cultivate it. You have to deepen your skill. You have to spread your wisdom and understanding. And you say, oh, how come I'm not getting rich in 30 days? How come this isn't panning out in 6 months? How come this is panning out after a couple years of doing it? It's called the shallow ground. And the moment those distractions keep putting their pressure on, and they will, guess what? You get scorched. Done. You're gone. You got burnt. Third thing, the seed, different type of ground, started taking, awesome. Then it started growing. And then it started growing. It started growing. The next thing you know, what grew with it? The thorns. The thorns say, I see you, you're coming up. I see you, you're coming up. Oh, we can't let you come up. We can't let you outshine us. We got to give you some shade. We got to choke you out. We got to make sure you don't grow anymore. That's like a lot of people in your life, a lot of situations in your life. They see you on the rise. They see your progress. They see you growing. They see your investments start paying off. Your money starts to grow. This distraction, you want to buy this, you want to buy that. Those are the thorns that steal your seed. Or worse, the seed starts growing and it kills it before it even has a chance to grow. It's about to get a breakthrough. It's about to bust through to the next level. And what did you do? You quit. Person watching this, you quit. Because that seed was planted along the thorns. So as you're managing your money, you're earning your income. Yes, there's things along the way that keep you from actually manifesting and growing. Guess what? That's part of the path. That's part of the journey. See, when you're thinking about your finances, you think that everything has to be perfect. I can't tell you one entrepreneur I've ever run into that 100% of the way every financial decision they made has been panning out the way they thought it would pan out. Along the way, the seed of their money, their finances, yes, it gets choked up. Yes, the birds swoop it up. Yes, you find people that lie, cheat, and steal from you. Yes, along the way, you get wiser and smarter. Yes, you learn how to protect your money. You learn how to protect your seed life better. And then you run to D. Then you start planting seed on the good ground. And here's about the good ground. It starts setting, it starts growing, it starts creating in size. And guess what happens? It returns 60 times, 100 times, 30 times. That's according to scripture. Wait a minute. So the good ground returns 30, 60, 100 times. And those certain things pan out differently. The good ground doesn't mean it's all the same. Some people come into your life for a season. Awesome. They've done a job for you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. Some investments come and give you a 5% return. Some give you a 30% return. Hey, thanks. It didn't pan out. Hey, let me replant my seed. Let me continue sowing. Money's supposed to be sown, harvested, resown, harvested, on and on. It just shouldn't be hoarded. We look at money and we get back to how would Jesus deal with $600, $1,200? How would he deal with the stimulus check? How would he deal with the business revenue from a company and your career? Is to keep that money replanted and growing. Is to keep that money cycling. Your job is to sow. You're trying to grow a business. People lie to you. People doubt you. People say, I'll be there. They don't show up. I'll be a customer. Then ask for the money back. Hey, handle that with grace. That's part of the journey of your job as a sower. Keep going until you eventually find a good ground. You know, oftentimes my wife and I, we qualify for these trips, company paid trips. They take us to places all over the world. They take us on world travel. They take us to Dubai, to Costa Rica. And guess what we talk about on these trips? Not only do we talk about getting better, but guess what we talk about? Babe, aren't we glad that we pushed through the rocky ground? Aren't we glad we pushed past the people that stabbed us in the back and lied on us, and we forgave them and went with grace and said we continue to make success our greatest revenge? Because we're not thinking about that stuff right now. We're glad that we became better people. We're glad that our money was reinvested to creating jobs, because that's where we're at today. Because we're creating, we're growing, and it's part of the good ground. Because the good ground, the 100 times return, the 60 times return, the 30 times return will then outshadow and outshine the rocky ground. It'll outshine the path along the way. It'll outshine the crows, because you're going to start soaring like an eagle. And guess what happens when you're an eagle? You fly at an altitude that the crows and the ravens cannot breathe at. And that's all they do. Caw-caw, caw-caw. They can't, all they're doing is screaming at you, but they can't soar up here like you are.